The Morning Meditation, episode number 30.
This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success.
Luke, a man with a gift. Colossians chapter 4, verse 14. Luke, the beloved physician, and Demas greet you. Herbert Lockyer says, less is known of Luke than any other New Testament writer. This we do know. He was a Gentile and probably the brother of Titus. Luke was a man of learning and knowledge, an exact observer and faithful recorder. His medical training taught him to be exact. He is in the first rank as a reliable historian, scholarly, skillful, and sympathetic. Luke chapter 1, verse 1 through 3, and Acts chapter 1, 1 through 3. His gospel is the most literary of the four. With his Greek mind, he had a sense of form, a beautiful style, studied and elaborate. That's from Herbert Lockyer, All the Men of the Bible, page 220. I believe Luke ministered with Paul and to Paul. He could not have written such a gospel as the Gospel according to St. Luke and not been able to communicate the truth to people. I believe he was a great help to Paul in the spread of the gospel. I believe he also served as Paul's personal physician. It is not easy to think of Paul as needing or using a personal physician. Here is a man who had all the apostolic gifts, 2 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 5, which included the power to heal, raise the dead, etc. However, we find him praying for the removal of what he called a thorn in the flesh in 2 Corinthians chapter 12. And the Lord did not remove it, but rather gave him grace to bear it. It is not the lack of faith to use a physician to help with a malady that God has not removed by a miracle. It is believed that Paul had an eye problem, and that gave him much trouble. Some believe that this was the thorn. Others believe that this was an additional problem in the flesh that Paul had to tolerate. I would only be adding to the opinions if I pursued this further. Paul calls him the beloved physician. The word beloved translates and means beloved, esteemed, dear, favorite, worthy of love. This word is a word of endearment. This word is found 61 times in the New Testament and is used at least 28 times by Paul. He uses it to apply to a particular individual 12 times. Why did Paul use such a word to describe Luke? Luke joined the missionary party in Acts chapter 16 when he records Paul's Macedonian vision and joins the missionary band. The physicians that I have been associated with become physicians because of compassion that they have toward the suffering of people. They want to help to heal and relieve the pain of human suffering. I had a physician in Bossier City who for years would not take a penny of my money as he ministered to my physical needs. He was also a deacon in a Baptist church in the area. I will always appreciate his compassionate service to me freely bestowed. I believe that Luke did this kind of service toward Paul and others. Paul did not perform the miracle of healing on everyone he met who was sick. Paul says in 2 Timothy 4:20, Erastus abode at Corinth, but Trophimus have I left at Miletum, sick. Did Paul lack faith to heal this brother? Please read what I'm about to say carefully. It is not always God's will to heal. If anything proves it, it would be this passage, because we are dealing in this situation with one who had faith, the gift to heal, and a compassion that would not leave a person sick if he could do anything about it. You cannot read Paul without being touched with the pathos and passion he had for the plight of humanity. I believed when he called Luke the beloved physician, he was remembering the many occasions where he had witnessed the loving care Luke had of those he had helped in their sickness. When divine healing is not the will of God, it is not wrong to use a doctor. It is not unbelief to go to a doctor and take medication. Paul said to Timothy in 1 Timothy 5:23, "Drink no longer water, but use a little wine for thy stomach's sake, and thine oft infirmities." Paul is not endorsing alcoholic beverage. He recommended a little wine for medicinal purposes. Now don't get upset with me over what I'm about to say. I have felt like using a little wine for medicinal purposes. I do not have a pain-free day. You say, "Preacher, what is wrong?" Over 83 years of living is what is wrong. If you can find a doctor that can take that out, please contact me in a hurry. Now, there are other medications that you can take today instead of wine for the stomach's sake, and that is what I do. I am a total abstainer. But we as Christians recognize that the Bible does not forbid alcohol for medicinal purposes. Much of what you take in the form of liquid medicine has alcohol in it. Jesus said in Luke 5:31, "And Jesus answering said unto them, They that are whole need not a physician, but they that are sick." Jesus did not say going to a doctor was wrong or was a sign of weakness of the faith. Luke was a beloved physician. I believe Paul could have said, "Luke is an outstanding soul winner and missionary. He is a prolific writer and an outstanding expositor of the Scripture." I think he could have said all that and been right. But he was inspired to say, "Luke, the beloved physician. When I get sick, I take my illness to God through Jesus, and I have been healed directly." I won't go into it here. But if I didn't believe God would answer prayer, I would not go through the form of prayer and make people think I did. I do not think prayer is just a psychological exercise. Hebrews 11:6 says, "But without faith it is impossible to please him. For he that cometh to God must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him." I have also had the Lord lead me to go to a doctor, and God used the skill and wisdom of that doctor to heal me. I give God the glory and am thankful for the doctor. I pray for my doctors daily. When you're my age, you have doctors. At least most of us do. They need my prayer, and I need their skill. It works together. May the Lord bless these words to our hearts today.